So bonuses, let's get more. Ashika Tailor is Head of Business Development at Zurich International Life for employee benefits. Ashika, good morning.
Good morning.
Right, 3/4 of us getting a bonus. We'll get to what we're going to do with it in a second. But first of all, how did you find that out?
So we conducted a survey. We've been running it for a few years now to really gather the sentiment of employees in the workplace. And it's a survey that's designed to cover a broad range of industries, nationalities, income levels. So quite a broad-reaching survey. And as you mentioned, 3/4 of employees this year expecting to receive a bonus. That's really the highest we've seen in the last few years. So certainly suggests a sense of optimism when it comes to financial rewards. And we're really seeing that driven by increased confidence in generally the economy and how their organisation has been performing.
Where did you conduct this research? I guess if you conducted it down in DIFC, where you guys have a big base, there's a real bonus culture within financial services. Maybe if you went to Alcoz industrial area, you'd get a different response. Who did you speak to, or who did the guys at YouGov speak to?
Yeah, so it is intended to be a broad-reaching survey. So it is not. It's not restricted to only certain zones. It is UAE wide, covering a broad range of industry sectors. So not just your finance sectors where you might see bonuses being more commonplace. And what's important to note is that it's really the expectation from employees, not necessarily the reality of what's given, but the fact that employees are expecting to receive bonuses at that level does suggest a sense of increased optimism when it comes to financial rewards.
Finally, Ashika, what kind of bonus are we getting? Is it an extra 500 dirhams or 1,000 dirhams in the bank account to say thank you, or is it like Emirates got last year, multiple weeks of salary? What do you know about how much bonus people are getting?
So this is where it really will vary according to the industry sector, but our survey shows that around a third of employees are expecting a bonus of 25,000 dirhams or more, which is significantly higher than we've seen in previous years.
Okay, cool. So that's what's happening. Good year for bonuses, higher than normal. Great, happy days. But what people are doing with it is interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. A lot of people aren't going out and buying a flash new car or going on holiday. They're sticking it away for their retirement. Tell us about that trend.
Absolutely. We are seeing a noticeable shift in the financial mindset of employees. So instead of that short-term spending, they are thinking about their long-term financial security. And 68% of employees are actually intending to save some or all of their bonus. Interestingly, Gen Z are leading the way in terms of that, being the most disciplined savers and planning to save the most of their bonus.
So in terms of how much we need for retirement planning, you've come up with a number, and it's 10 million dirhams. 77% of employees estimate they will need up to 10 million dirhams to retire comfortably. Just to drill down into your sample here, that sounds like it's a number that middle-income, middle manager types would get. Again, there's a lot of people in this town. There's no way they're going to say, I get that much for their retirement, because they're earning a few thousand dirhams a month.
Absolutely. So to clarify, the survey asked employees for their estimate of what they would need. And the majority of employees would say they need anywhere up to 5 million dirhams. So that was sort of more of the median number. But there were some responses that suggested as high as 10 million dirhams. So that's their own estimate of what they might need to retire comfortably in the UAE.
And is that working on the old 5% rule of thumb? That whatever you've got tucked away, let's say it's 10 million dirhams, you're going to get a 5% return on that every year. So you'd get 500,000 dirhams a year annual income off that 10 million. What kind of rule of thumb are you working off?
So this is more the employees that we surveyed answering that question. So it's their own view on what they think will be necessary. But what's really interesting that we saw in the survey was that whilst employees are estimating that they might need up to 5 million dirhams as a lump sum, they are overwhelmingly relying on the gratuity payments that they are expecting from their company to fund their retirement.
The word naive springs to mind.
So this is where there is a significant gap that needs to be addressed. So 75% of employees in the survey said that they felt confident that they'd have sufficient funds for retirement, which sounds great. But on the other hand, 65% are relying on that gratuity. So there is something here that needs to be addressed to bridge that gap.
So is it maximum gratuity? Am I right in thinking it's about 20 months or is it 24 months you can get?
Majority of companies will cap it at 2 years of salary, which is the maximum according to the requirements under the labour law. There are some companies who will give slightly more than that, but in general, that is the maximum you can expect.
Well, even I can do that maths. If you are expecting to have 5 million dirhams for retirement and rely on your gratuity, you've got to be earning 2.5 million dirhams a year, which is not the majority, Ashika, I would argue.
Absolutely. And this is where it's really important that people take advantage of the company tools that are available. And employers really have a key role to play in driving that money confidence among their employees. We have seen from the survey that 7 in 10 employees said that they would gain confidence from employer-sponsored programs. So clearly,
and now we've got that, haven't we? I mean, you guys, Zurich, have done that with the due system in DIFC, and something similar is being rolled out across the country now, isn't it? We've only got a minute left. How much of a game changer will that be?
Absolutely. This really is, as you said, going to be a game changer. We've seen the DIFC pioneering that change 5 years ago, and it's now a very well-established savings program that's been rolled out. We, as you mentioned, the new voluntary UAE system for end-of-service gratuity is going to further fuel that change. What's interesting is that only 17% of companies across our survey are currently offering a workplace savings plan. So there is a lot to be done. I would say companies really need to consider financial well-being programs as part of their total rewards offering and really consider introducing robust structured savings plans to help employees bridge this gap.
Ashika, good talk to you. Appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for coming in early during the holy month of Ramadan. The thoughts there of the team from Zurich International Life. That is Ashika Tailor, who heads up employee benefits for the Middle East. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.